Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you for watching. I've gotten a lot of questions about the balloons I use and where we get them from, and I figured today is a good time. We'll go over and kind of see where I get the balloons. And so the top 3 balloons I use are Qualatex, Tuftex, and Battalatex, which is also Sempertex. There may be a couple of other balloons that we've had to use, but those are the top 3 that we mainly use. I have some here. I'll show you some examples. Alright, so right here we have the Tuftex. This is blush. 11, I got I think a 36 or 32. There's the 11 5 count. This one right here is Battalatex. Battalatex, which is also Sempertex. This one is the metallic rose gold. It really doesn't come out of rose gold. You gotta put something under it, kind of make it pop. I think we put silver, like a silver under this, and it kind of came out more rose gold. This is the Qualatex. This is probably the most popular, most known quality balloon out there. Their prices do reflect that, but most of these are geared around the same prices when you really look at them. Qualatex kind of jumps around a little bit, but for the most part they're pretty much similar in pricing. With the Tuftex you actually get a little bit more for the pricing, because usually these come out like in a 100 count, unless it's a 16, then it'll come out in like a 50 count. But the Tuftex, if you get their 11 inch, I believe it's like 177 that come in that pack or something like that, so you do get extra from the Tuftex, a little bit more, but I think it's definitely worth it. This is the round pink. We actually use this one a lot. This is the standard pink. You don't really need to double stuff this one. That's what I like about this pink. You get a nice solid color pink and you don't have to double stuff it. This one is a new brand that we've recently tried a couple of times, Guimar. So they've kind of, I think they're a European brand, and they're kind of coming a lot more over here to Texas. This is fuchsia. I like their colors. The colors, they have a lot of vibrant colors. They're really good colors, and their shapes, they actually go to a nice good round, but they are not made for Texas heat. We had one setup where we put it, it was maybe about 94 degrees outside. It was hot. It was really hot, and it was probably 1 or 2 in the afternoon was a setup. We actually had 2. We had a Qualatex setup and a Battalatex garden. We used this one because it was more like a fiesta theme and they had vibrant colors, so we went with it. And then we used Qualatex. We had 2 different setups in the same day, about an hour apart. One was like at 12 and the other one was like at 1 or 2, or no, about 1. And we just, right after each other, we went to them. So we did the Qualatex. We lost maybe 1 balloon, which was touching the ground, and it's always a risk when you have a balloon touching the ground. And then the Guimar, first time ever, we had a call and they said the balloons are popping, can we come check it out? So we had to go back, almost lost a lot of the whole garland. It's the first time that's ever happened. Luckily the event wasn't until a little bit later, so we had about maybe less than an hour and a half to do that whole balloon garland. But there was 3 of us, me, my wife, my sister, and knocked it out, put the garland and put it in the shade. We switched over to Qualatex, so we didn't get that same vibrant colors, but you would still, it was still fiesta. It just I'm just glad we were able to get the balloon garland set up and everything done right before the event started. They were bringing in the food when we were just leaving. For super hot weather, maybe extreme temperature, and you're setting up maybe in the sun 1 or 2 in the afternoon, which sometimes that's what the clients want, especially if it's a drive-by or something and they want to set up in the afternoon, and if it's really hot, I would not recommend the Guimar. I'm not saying they're bad balloons, so they're great colors, great size. Just kind of, you got to know which balloons work better, and I would not recommend these on a super hot, close to 100-degree day. You're taking a big risk with these. And that also happened again. So we weren't sure what it was. We went back, the Qualatex were still there. They were in the hot sun, same thing, but the Guimar weren't. So we tried one more event, which was actually my sister had her son's birthday, and she said, well, I'm gonna use those balloons and we'll see what happens with them. It was set up in the sun also. It was still hot. It's probably in the 90s, but we only 1 color. I believe it was like the blue that they have. You did start hearing popping. and so we lost one of the colors from there, but it was maybe like around 90 degrees. It's pretty good hot. You'd walk out and you feel the sun hitting you, and that was a setup maybe around 2 in the afternoon, and still the same issue. So since then we've only used these indoor and no problem with that. Just outdoor I would be cautious. And this is kind of the storage. I also have, we're full of, I don't know, 25 cases of balloons under us. So I only keep like, the reason I have these is a lot of times we'll try to, clients want certain colors, and so it's easier to kind of try to create that color and kind of see, double stuff different balloons to see if we can create the color they want. So this is the standard pink, but we use this a lot. So I also have this full Qualatex standard pink, all the sizes, even the blush. It's a good blush. We use it a lot, especially for double stuffing. We have it here. So a lot of these colors, we have a bunch of cases under here. Like we use white a lot. I have 2 of these full of white. They're either Qualatex or Tuftex. So where we get most of our balloons, honestly, online. We've only been doing this, it's barely been a year. I think the main places we use is All American Balloons, BalloonsFast.com, and Wholesale Balloons. And we use those are ones that we've used, and also Amazon and Etsy. So a lot of times right now, so we've only been doing this about a year, and there is, I don't know the way it was before, but they say there's a shortage of balloons. And so a lot of times if you want a certain color, so say we wanted this blush right here, and you find it on All American Balloons, the 11-inch and the 16-inch, but you still need the 5 and 36, but they're out. So I'll buy from All American Balloons, I'll buy those, and I'll look online to other websites to see where I can buy the blush from. Usually either I try to get BalloonsFast.com, or if it's in a hurry, I'll look on Amazon. And I still look up these colors. I don't get Amazon balloons. You'll look up the Qualatex, the Tuftex, they're on there. But it is kind of risky ordering from those. And then also, last resort is Etsy, which I've had to use. I don't like to use, man, because they increase the price a lot. So they'll buy like a 100-pack balloon and they'll split them into 20s, and then they'll sell that 20 for like a good chunk of change. And then if you want to, usually I need it fast, so their shipping is like 2 weeks, so I have to pay extra for shipping. So I'm paying a lot more from Etsy than I would if I was able to get it straight from the website. But sometimes you have to do that, especially if it's a late order. So we actually have an event coming up. We are pretty much done taking orders for most of the events. I'm starting to work a lot more, so we're not really doing this so much, but we're still finishing out the orders that we had before. We got in some of the balloons that I had ordered, and we'll go over what those are coming up for. So the client wanted, it's for a Sweet 16. The client wanted a burgundy, black, and gold theme. The black's easy. Qualatex makes a really good solid black. The gold simple. We use the Qualatex has a nice gold, and then and the burgundy is the tough one. So with burgundy, we've tried to create it before. It's always difficult, and then you can look online. They have different resources to try to create those. A lot of times we'll double stuff trying to make that exactly the way we want it. There was one that we tried. I like it. We're still not sure if we're gonna use it. This is a burgundy that we're trying. Half of it has the shine on it, the high shine, and this doesn't. But this is actually, if you look closely, it is jewel magenta from Qualatex with a silver chrome inside, and it kind of gives it that look. We've been using Tuftex a lot more lately. Qualatex. So here's 11-inch Qualatex, Onyx black. So these are the black 11-inch Qualatex. And then from Tuftex, you see a lot of, this is a new color, it's Sangria that they've kind of added, and it seemed like a pretty good burgundy. We haven't tried it. We've seen pictures of it online, ordered it. We're gonna blow it up, see what it looks like, see if it needs to be double stuffed or if a different color added to get the kind of color we're looking for. All American has good prices on a lot of their stuff, but they're close to us. They're actually within our state. I believe they're like in Dallas. So their lowest shipping, it's usually like 10 bucks, but it's next day shipping. So literally I'll order it and it's here like in a day or two, boom. So a lot of times I would look for the place that's closer to you, because either way you're paying a lot in shipping, and you either gonna get it in 5 to 7 days or 1 day, and I'd rather get that 1 day if I'm still paying the same price. So whatever state's closer to you works the best. So this is from balloonsfast.com. It's a 17-inch Tough-Tech Sangria 2-pack and 4 of the 36-inch Tough-Tech Sangria. The subtotal for these was $52. The shipping was 16 bucks. Came out to 68 bucks for these. The Qualitex, I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe around $50, around there. So again, now we have the 17-inch. It's a 72-pack instead of the 50-pack Sangria from Tough-Tech. So 11, 17, and we also bought another 17. A lot of the bigger balloons just make the garden look better, so we got double packed. We won't need them all, but we'll see. 17-inch, and then we got 4 of these, of the 36-inch or 30-inch, it depends. The brands have different sizes, usually on the larger ones. What I like about All American Balloons is they do have a color chart. So if you're missing one color from one brand, they have another brand that's similar. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But they said these were similar. I bought them and they actually look pretty similar. This is Celebrity. It's their more knockoff brand, but they're 5-inch. But it's indoors. I'll blow up the colors. Maybe we might have to double stuff them, but we'll see what these come out and what they look like. I'll film this one. It's coming up in maybe 2 weeks. And another thing I wanted to discuss that a lot of people have asked about is how we get our sales. And so we have an Instagram account, we have a Facebook, and later on we did add a website, but you really wouldn't need a website. I think I've got maybe like 5 sales through the website. But also I don't push the website at all, really. I just made it just to see if I could make it. Through Facebook, we just posted in the marketplace. We've taken the pictures. The first ones was my wife's baby shower setup. So my sister did most of that and just made the backdrops. We set that up and we put the pricing. And we completely underpriced what it would cost to do all that stuff. But it happens. Later on, we learned from that. We are constantly updating our menu package that we kind of send out when people ask for information. So they'll usually ask how much is this or how much is that, and I can usually send a packet of like, this is what we offer, this is what we do, to simplify it. A lot of times you'll get drawn into longer conversations, and I don't have time for that. I'm working a lot, and my sister, she answers when she can, but she has my nephew, so she's busy, my wife's busy, so we don't have time to be like messaging so much. So I try to make a menu to, this is what we have, this is the package we offer, these are the things that we offer. And usually they'll take a while to look at that, and then they'll message back if what they're interested in. And sometimes they'll ask for, can we do this and this and this? I'm like, I know we don't have the stuff, or that's going to be too much hassle. And I usually say, I'm like, I'm sorry right now, but that's not something we offer at this time, and I just don't have the time to take up that business. So that's what I'm saying. If I really put in some time, this business would grow a lot more. With pricing, we've gone, I think our first priced event was like a grass backdrop with balloons for like $225 or something like that, and that the balloons alone cost us maybe $150. So I made like 75 bucks, but that's not even charging for the grass backdrop. I'm not even sure what we charge for delivery, but from there we've changed a lot more. We've gradually gone up. It's not like a big jump every time. So every 2 months or so we've gone up a little bit. So we get most of our sales just through Facebook Marketplace. I'm going to show you on here kind of what we do is just get our product, get a picture of it, get a couple of pictures, just write the title, and then just follow the instructions and putting what it is, what you offer, and then I just put usually message for pricing, and within a day or two, you're already getting pretty good amount of messages. We've gotten hundreds of messages through the stuff we've gone. So I'm just showing you the example I have here, putting up the candy cart, but I took that off right after. We're not really doing that stuff anymore. I took off all the marketplace stuff maybe 2 months ago or 3 months ago, because I knew we were gonna kind of tail off and stop doing a lot of stuff we were doing. We have gotten, our second ones are just basically people just messaging through our actual Facebook. So when we post our pictures of what we done, we post like hashtag balloon garlands and all that stuff, just to kind of get it out there and people start liking it, and our friends are growing. So a lot of times you'll see people messaging through there like, can we do this, or a date's available, and it's through that. So the number one place for us has been Facebook Marketplace, and then through Facebook messaging, and the third one was through Instagram messaging, and then the fourth one was through the website. From what I've seen a lot more, Instagram is kind of where most people are actually getting a lot of their business. It just didn't work that way for us. For us, I think it's follow wherever the business is growing, and with us it was through the Facebook Marketplace, and it was growing through there. I was going to start looking into kind of pushing our Instagram more, and creating stories and kind of building that up, but I started working more, and I already knew, I'm like, this is not something we're going to do just because I'm going to start working more. So we didn't go down that route. But if that were something you're just starting out, honestly, I would do Facebook Marketplace and then start building up your Instagram and kind of showing pictures on there and kind of see where it goes from there. If you do quality work and you're responding right when they're messaging, honest with them of what you can do and what you're providing, and your business will grow. Especially it depends on your marketplace. Where I am at, there was not, when I posted on there was maybe about 3 or 4 other people doing this stuff, and on there we were actually way more expensive than what other people were doing, but you could tell a lot of their stuff wasn't the quality balloons we were using. You could tell they were just using like one size from a smaller store, maybe basically like Walmart balloons, and it'd be all 11-inch balloons, a balloon garland, and they just looked different. It wasn't organic. They weren't using all the multiple sizes. It didn't look like the stuff we were offering. So of course we offered for more. So we were the most expensive one on Marketplace, but we were not the most expensive one in our town. There was a couple of others that are in, I think 2 or 3 in our town that do more extravagant than us. That's their full-time job, so their prices are more, I believe, like for basic setups, they're usually close to $1,000. Most of our sales and setup usually are in the 500 to 600. That's most of the sales that we've gotten off the Marketplace. So if we're paying for balloons, a basic balloon garland. The other mistake that I made when we first started was, if you actually price these out in the 5 inches, I forgot that when I first started that's what I did, and they were like 17 cents a balloon, or the 5 inches were like 6 cents a balloon when you break it all down. But what I learned quickly, especially after our first couple of events, it doesn't work that way. So what someone wants, say you bought an 11-inch pack, it's a 100 pack, to make that balloon garland, say it's 16 feet, you're gonna use 60% of this bag to make that, at least 60% of this bag, and then like a percentage of all the other bags, and there's usually not enough left over in this bag to make a whole nother balloon garland for somewhere else. And what I decided, what you have to do is, I stopped offering smaller garlands. We don't make anything below 12 feet, and I charge for the whole bag. They do have leftovers, but also if balloons pop or anything, we have leftovers. So we have a little bit left over each bag, but we charge per bag. So it's for balloon garland. So say it's a standard balloon garland, nothing double stuffed, and it's gonna be 12 foot or 18 foot. We're still using the same amount of balloons, the same amount of bags, but I'm charging per bag, because off that 12-foot balloon garland, I'm gonna have maybe another 6-foot balloon garland that I can make, but I'm not gonna be able to sell that. It's gonna be a waste, and you go through your money, and it's just, especially at a small business, you need to kind of watch your margins of where your money's going, and your money is gonna go to balloons. Usually a standard balloon garland with all the colors we need, it varies on the different brands you get and what you're using, and but most of the time you're gonna run anywhere from $125 to $165 depending. Some things change, especially on prices, especially getting them for different places and shipping. If you can get them all in one place, and you might be able to get it like $130, $145. It depends on the colors also. And so like if you're using, say it's white, pink, and gold, you get the solid white, solid pink, You don't have to double stuff those. And then the gold usually only come in 11 and 7, so you can even only just do 11s. So even if they want those 3 colors, you're only really getting all of the yellow, all of the white, all of the pink, and a pack of yellow. So you can get that for $125, $130. It's all shipped for one place, and that usually works out well. It doesn't always work out that way. Say we did that one with the candy cart, which we've done before. Balloon price, say $150 for the garland. The candy cart, $100, $125. So you got, so say it's $150 for the balloon garland, $125 for the candy cart, because that you got to charge for what you have. So that is $275 plus your time building the garland and delivery. Usually that garland doesn't take more than 30 minutes. And then you charge whatever you want for delivery. Anywhere we charge anywhere from $50 to $75, usually the $75 range. We were starting to pick up our prices, getting a lot more, but it's kind of busy more with work, so I decided to kind of show kind of where we were at your business if you're deciding to do this, and maybe to see kind of where your business would grow. Yeah, so if you are starting this, I think the best thing to do would be start off on Facebook Marketplace. That kind of, a lot of people have it. It kind of spreads it spreads real easily, and it doesn't cost you anything. We did get a website, and maybe someday I'll do a video on kind of how I set that up, and but the sales from there, it gets a lot of visits, but the sales aren't nearly as close to, I guess the communication aren't nearly as close as what we get from Facebook. So definitely the number one thing I would say, Facebook Marketplace. Make sure those pictures are nice, and you're always communicating with your customers, and definitely that will get you some customer, at least some feedback, and it's up to you to see if you can grab the sale. So I would definitely wait on a website and just focus on Facebook Marketplace and focus on Instagram. When we started, it was basically all Facebook, and then later on I kind of like, oh, let me learn Instagram and put some stuff on there. And most from what other business that I see, a lot of people get a lot of their business off of Instagram. So I was those are the 2 things. I would start them together, keep them very professional, always answer those messages, have a good, even if you don't have a pricing list to send out to them, have something written down so you kind of know what you're charging, how much it's going to cost you, before you even give anything. So a lot of times they're going to ask for quotes, they'll send pictures, or they'll ask how much for something like this, and you can respond right off the bat, this is what we charge for that. So this was the toughest part. I wanted to see like, how are we going to receive sales? Are we going to go through like a Cash App or some type of app that they send us to? And I just thought, I'm like, that just wasn't as professional as I wanted it to be, and especially for the price we're looking at, I wanted it to be more professional. And me and my wife had gotten married a couple of years back, and we ended up paying online. I remember that, and so I went back and kind of looked it up what they used, and that one felt very professional. When I used it, I felt safe. I think we were paying like a good amount of money for the venue, and we paid through there. Square. So just a web, no, not just basically square.com, and it was really simple to sign up. It was free. They do take a percentage out of each sale, so our sales are pretty good. So like, they take a good chunk of, well, I guess it is what it is. So they do have to get their money out. So say we've sold like a $700 setup, they'll usually take out probably close to $20. But it's a service that they're offering, and you're paying more to have that professional look, and people see that, and it gives them a receipt. You're able to kind of send them a quote through there. I'll show you how we send our quote through there, and you can make a quote, send it to them, and if they want to, they can pay that quote, and that turns into your invoice, and then you have all your records there. It stays there. You can set up to send them reminders the day before, the week before, for a payment. We have our payments, usually it's $100 to book us, and we require the rest of the payment 2 weeks prior to the event. Those will send them like little like a reminder, maybe 2 days before your final payment is due in 2 days. So that really works out well. We haven't had any problems with them, so I definitely recommend Square. It's worked out. They do take a chunk of change, but it's definitely worth it in being more professional, and allowing to do refunds and everything like that if you have to. I definitely do recommend Square. If any of you have had any other businesses or ways that you accept cash that's worked really well for you, leave them in the comments below. We'd all love to learn more. So if you're able to set up a website, definitely look at Wix. But remember, the number one thing I really would stick with is Facebook Marketplace and Instagram, at least to start your business before you spend a little bit of money to invest in a website. But definitely Wix is worth checking a look at. I hope I answered any of the questions you have. If you have any more questions, leave it in the comments below and I'll try to answer what I can. Thank you very much for watching this video.